Heyo, we're alive. This is the Beyond the Dojo podcast. I'm Lauren.
I'm Jeremiah.
And we have taken quite the hiatus here. Yeah, we haven't released an episode in like a couple months. We actually, in our defense, we actually tried to record an episode in like early November, but...
Oh, it looked horrible. I was in miserable looking shape.
And I apparently can't keep my terminology straight, so it was a disaster. It was the first time we've ever canned an episode, so you're welcome that we did not subject you to that.
It took us a while to get over it, though.
That's right. Yeah.
Almost
so
the
now
whole 2 months.
Started from the bottom. Now we a little bit above the bottom.
Just a little bit.
Anyhow, so we wanted to maybe get back into the swing of things with something easy, just like, you know, lower the barrier to entry here. Also, we're trying a different camera, so if you're watching on YouTube and the video goes out, it's because the camera died or we ran out of space or something.
Yeah.
We can't.
So our plan is to, when we fail, to lower the standards.
Yeah, we just lower the standard and just make it easier.
Good.
Yeah.
Make us feel good.
We'll just start with saying our name. Hi, I'm Lauren.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah.
Good. That's a good start. End of episode. Thanks for listening. So we wanted to spend today actually kind of reviewing 2020 because it is literally December 28th. I guess we're not really just supposed to talk about what date it is whenever we do podcasts because it's supposed to be like etched in stone in podcast land, but it is December 28th. So we're smack dab in the middle between Christmas and New Year's.
And for all of those, I can't talk. For all of those that we have not seen yet or been able to speak to, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's.
Markrumas.
Markruma.
Or whatever else you're celebrating.
Happy holidays.
Diwali, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa things. Diwali is apparently like an Indian thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's what I heard. I don't know when they celebrate it, but
thought you made it
I heard it on The Office, so...
Oh, if it's true, then if it's on The Office...
Well, no, it is a thing.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Anyway, also, how funny are the karate episodes with Dwight on The Office? Like, I know I'm late to the party, but still, pretty funny. Anyhow.
I don't like The Office, so I'm that odd guy that just... The humor doesn't make me laugh.
I have binge watched it because they're about to take it off Netflix, and I literally bawled my eyes out last night when I watched the episode where Steve Carell left because they didn't renew his contract. What happened in real life, but on the show he went off to Colorado to live. Anyhow, oops, I hope I'm not spoiling that for anybody.
I doubt it.
Right.
You're probably the last one watching it.
Okay, so how did we start this year? So January.
I think January, February were probably the most normal 2 months out of the whole freaking year.
Actually, they were not at all because in January is when we closed your dojo.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You know what's crazy is I thought I'd be dwelling on that more. Mm-hmm. But with all this other bull, I had no time to even think about it. I was just move on.
Right. How do you feel about it, thinking about it now?
I'm thankful. Thankful that we closed it then. I'm thankful that I didn't get caught up in all that craziness with, shutting down and not being able to pay any rent or something. No way.
Right.
No way. All that time we got freed up for it. Not to say I don't miss my family or my karate people in Ocala. I do miss them. It's just, man, that was a dodge a bullet moment.
Dude, so what was so crazy about that was we tried to shut everything down in December, and then there was all these things that like we had to fix in order to be able to sign our lease over to somebody else.
Right.
So we kept coming in and fixing things, and we had already had the power shut off, so we couldn't use any power tools. So stuff was taking us forever to get done. Like it was a nightmare. And come to find out, the landlord just wanted us to just leave and throw the keys at her face so that she could maybe write it off, but she wouldn't come out and say that. So we kept trying to fix stuff because we're trying to do the right thing. No lie, like a week and a half before Florida shut down for COVID is when we finally were able to close up shop in Ocala and get out of that.
Yeah.
Literally right before that is when we stopped.
Well, that's because we got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm not going back. I don't care what you try to do to me.
Right.
I am done. I tried my best and I did everything you asked, and you keep on asking for more.
Right.
So I would honestly, I believe God intervened in that very clearly to me.
Yeah.
It was like I said, one of the biggest bullets we dodged this year.
It was hard enough to run one dojo for a couple of months in a lockdown. I couldn't imagine trying to run two. I mean, that was just, very, very difficult. Yeah. So the February, I guess, was kind of a continue. Oh, we went to two classes at Florida Winter Keiko.
Yeah, we got to spend the day with our peeps.
Right.
Which was fun. It was good to see all that. And then, looking back on that, I wish... that's probably one of the things I miss the most is the traveling to do seminars and seeing our karate peeps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like training in my own dojo, but it's nice to go somewhere else.
Well, what sucked even more about that is that we had to skimp on doing the entire seminar because we were planning on all these other things we were supposed to be doing later in the year, and then we couldn't do any of them. So we literally could have splurged, and we didn't know.
Well, to be honest with you, but another bullet dodged, because we were able to, financially
survive during COVID.
to survive in COVID.
Yeah.
And not only survive, but get bills paid that we were our goals and everything that we had set up at the beginning of the years, and we were able to do realistically. I felt like in January when we talked about it, I was like, yeah, we could try and we'll get a majority of it done, but not all of it.
Right.
And then we get all of it done in like November, or no, right at December, right? Where we paid off a credit card and all that.
No. We haven't paid that off yet.
Oh, I've been living in a lie then.
Jeremiah's just been living in a dream world while I pay off debts. It's fine. Whatever.
Listen, this way it works with us is I make money. I don't make a lot of money, but the money I make I give to my wife, and she does as needed.
So I buy extravagant things. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
This is from a yard sale.
Yeah.
This is a Christmas tree I'm pointing at here if you're listening to the audio version.
Yeah, and we're not rich people.
So, well, that's the trade-off of doing martial arts and teaching it, is that you really don't make a lot of money, but you have a flippin' blast making nothing.
We say that all the time, but we never been hurt for money.
Right.
We never had our bills like late.
Right.
I mean, we had to shift things around and everything like anybody else, but
yeah,
we never had anybody calling us like, "Hey, where's my money?"
Right.
So,
yeah. Except for that landlord in Ocala.
Yeah, but you know what? We threw the keys in the slot and hauled ass, and they ain't heard from her since.
Run away!
Not one follow-up call.
Yeah, I know. I think she was happy.
She was like, "I'm tired of these people. They're idiots."
It's a great tax write-off.
Yeah.
So then in March is when we shut down.
Yeah.
In March and April, and that was how did you feel about the 8-week quarantine? That we're in Florida, guys, so we weren't shut down for a long time.
Yeah, and thank God we weren't.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys that are still going through it, I don't know how you're handling it. Yeah. I mean, you guys are troopers, because
California,
8 weeks was hard. Yeah.
California would if we had to pull off California kind of timeline.
No
way, dude. I'd shoot myself in the head.
Okay. Some people kind of feel like that, so keep it down. Anyway, how did you feel about the 8 weeks?
Looking back, I'm grateful that we didn't have to we only had to do 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I would never want to have to base my entire dojo teaching off of Zoom classes and everything else. That's a lot of work.
Not with kids and beginners.
Yeah, and then you have no ability to coach them up, because in our area, internet's kind of hit and miss.
Mm-hmm. We
live in a very poor county, so some of these kids, they might have internet, they might not. You don't know the situation.
Somebody's on their phone, trying to get internet outside. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just what it is. What it is.
Right.
So yeah, thank God we didn't have to do that too long, and praise Him for, blessed that we kept the community the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
We were really blessed.
Yeah. So how did you feel about the 8 weeks? That's what I'm asking you.
I would never do it again. It's one of those, you put your head down and grind through it. You don't like it or dislike or dislike it. It's just a matter of doing it. Mm. It's like doing chores. You take the trash out because you have to, not because you want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
And that's how I looked at that. I had to do it, so I did it. Mm. Socially, I'm a little bit of a social person. You've seen that I like to interact with different people, not all the time, but I have to get my my social times, I guess. Mm-hmm. So that really kind of got to me towards the end.
Right.
But whatever.
Right. So for me, it was kind of the opposite. I wasn't a big fan of the Zoom teaching, the way that we did it, just because it was so hard here. Definitely would do a lot of things different as far as that goes, and God forbid it ever happens again, we will definitely go a different route. Yeah. But as far as that, it was kind of an 8 weeks off. It was kind of the summer that we didn't end up getting. And for me, it was great. Not to say that I dislike everyone and didn't want to be around them, but because over the past few years, I've had to deal with a lot more anxiety and not knowing how to handle it. And actually in February, it got so bad that I was on the verge, I felt of actual breakdown panic attacks. And I really probably should have gotten therapy. But having that 8 weeks off, being able to decompress, and then being able to kind of look at things from a bird's eye view, because I wasn't in the daily activities of all of the stuff that I normally do, actually helped a lot. It helped with like, you know, we are business owners, even though we're karate teachers and we want to be in the thick of it and teaching and whatever, we also have to make sure that we're taking care of our business. Yeah. So being able to step back and do that, since I'm not that global type thinker, I'm not a big picture thinker, I'm a very analytical person. So being able to step back and have that moment to look at everything, but then also realize, okay, I have to make sure that I'm implementing this for the rest of my life. I have to be able to continue to do this. So actually during that 8 weeks, I decided that I wanted to spend the rest of this year building like systems and organization into my life and my business, so that I could teach better, so that I could build deeper relationships with people, so that I could actually enjoy being around people, as opposed to like hurrying up a conversation because I want to be alone again. Like I tried to make sure that every task and every like planning period and all that stuff like has its own space. Like we even talked about, like we haven't done it as much, but even talked about like planning out in general, like where the dojo is headed, like how we're actually teaching. I know that a lot of people can wing it, and we've done that, but for me it's difficult because I get so caught up in the details that I feel like I'll get lost in teaching and not take things the right direction. I won't take a class the right direction, or I'll forget to teach them things that they need for their next exam. Yeah. So just being able to have that 8 weeks was a huge refresher for me. I probably needed that for a long time to be able to kind of step back and yeah. I mean, I know that for a lot of people it was hard, but that was one of the advantages, I guess, of those 8 weeks. So
cool. That
was March and April. So so May, we started things back up.
Yeah. Yep. And it was slow at first, then it got really busy.
Yeah.
You know, we started picking up new students and stuff like that.
Right.
And then life got really busy for me in August.
Yeah.
I started going to massage therapy, taking the school for massage therapy and doing that. So I was going to school for 7 hours a day, teaching for maybe 2 or 3, depending on how it was. Every day. And then Saturday, Sundays working at the ranch until I got that done.
Right.
I'm still in the midst of it, but right now I'm on a nice little vacation from school, and the ranch seems to be sold. So everything's looking forward to me having to, you know, have some breathing room once I graduate and get started with the massage therapy. I should be able to control my schedule better.
Yeah.
And that's probably one thing I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
Right now is just being able to eliminate a lot of busy work.
Right.
And kind of focus on what we've been wanting to do anyways. Now is build our facility up and offer different services.
Right.
And so.
Also, like that's kind of back to like to the whole business thing, like knowing how to, I guess, recycle customers also kind of too, like being able to rather than trying to acquire new customers, being able to keep the same customers and kind of rotate them through different services that we have. Kind of that idea too. I know we talked about it a couple times. One of the biggest changes we made to our karate schedule.
Oh yeah,
separating out. So we used to have a big group of 9 to 12-year-olds. Right now we don't. But well, I mean it's average size.
No,
it's like
still
15,
the same size.
It's
just 2 classes now.
Right, it's 2 different classes. So we actually have a beginner's class, 9 to 12-year-olds, and then an intermediate class, which technically is not just 9 to 12-year-olds. It's actually intermediates for all kids, but we call it 9 to 12-year-olds to cover our butt. Yeah. But that's been huge because now we can focus on the beginners and we can focus on the intermediates. And this is probably, we have 8 intermediate students, so orange belts and green belts. This is the largest group of intermediate students we've probably had in 2 years. Yeah. We've only been open 3 years. So if we can keep those students around, we got a nice advanced class. So
well, yeah, and that's kind of the dojo's growing different stages. Mm-hmm. You know, we're creating the schedule to accommodate each stage. Mm-hmm. What's beautiful is that it didn't fall off as they move forward. We have another group of kids that are a good group, good sized class moving through, and we have the system that seems to be working right now. So yeah. I think that's one of our good accomplishments this year is to actually reorganize and have the ability to do that.
And look at it long term too. Yeah. Like in the moment it's like, oh, we have to teach an extra 2 hours a week, but in reality we're looking at
2 hours ever.
Yeah, we're actually like adding to the longevity of our dojo, because now some of these students have actually moved into the teens class, because some of them are old enough.
Right.
So that class is rebuilding itself, and
like, transition from class to class has been really easy this year.
Right.
Compared to before, where we were stressing to get people in and out. And dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The other thing that's exciting is, like, because we can focus on those individual groups, and we have in a lot of ways a very different approach to how we teach and, like, the content of what we're teaching, it's exciting to see these kids and teens and even some of the adults, like, learning this stuff and learning karate from a deeper perspective. Like, we kind of go deep right from the beginning, like, into application and, like, the actual mechanics of things, trying to teach it properly, as opposed to just kind of throwing stuff out to the class and hoping they pick up on something. Like, that more detailed instruction has been really nice.
Yeah, and it's reflected in the standard of our karate and the kids that, you know, had that experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we still have kids that were, you know, we're teaching a different way. Not a different way, just not the same separation and individual coaching ability. And you could tell the karate's different.
Right.
You know, and it's almost like it's a reassuring that you're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
That the kids are happy.
Right.
Classes are somewhat full.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with the class. I'm happy with the students.
Right.
Not in the sense of they're wonderful people, but the ability to see them progress,
mm-hmm.
and to know that we're working and we are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Because what we do is almost immediately we're talking about biomechanics.
Right.
From the day one.
Yeah.
Right?
And not like in-depth stuff,
no,
like
but still
knowing how this does that and whatever, but like talking about how movements are done properly and giving a super basic explanation as to why something works. We can ask all of those 9 to 12-year-olds, that a lot of them that just moved up into our intermediate class, you can ask any of them, like at their level, to explain some of the mechanical details of the movements that they're doing, and they can explain it. They can explain at least 3 to 4 good points about it.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, that's a blessing of what we've been exposed to.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, it's good all around.
Everything is good.
It's good.
Recently we had an exam recently, which exams have been a lot different too. We haven't been able to do any kumite, especially with the kids.
Right.
So we can't have any on the exams. So we had I guess 2 exams now, and then that's why some of the students went up to the intermediate group, and then one of the students, rather than going to the intermediate group, he just went ahead to the teens class. And his first day in that class, I was teaching, and we were talking about some like Han Yondan application stuff. Homeboy's eyes like lit up. Yeah. So excited to see that. So I mean, that kind of stuff's just like so worth it to talk about violence and make people happy.
So reassuring that our process is working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to take all the credit, but like, it's us and we did this great job.
Yeah.
We're fortunate to have students that are like-minded and that understand it and can appreciate what we're doing.
I think the most important thing is that we're creating a structure that supports these ideas so that we can kind of build that community. So it's not about us.
Right.
It's about like the systems we put in place. So eventually some of these students, I mean, we're already bringing in students and allowing them to like coach each other up and give each other corrections. And we have one student who is volunteering and helping us in another class. Like, we're able to let that community kind of feed itself, even though it's still really young. We're trying to get in that habit now so that as it grows older, once again, it's not about us. It's the machine has already been created, so it's able to continue on. But we've seen enough machines break down and fall into 100 million pieces that we are trying to implement the best systems we can. Yeah. So that was...
Yeah.
I feel like that's what this whole year has been for us, is just systematizing things. And
from one aspect to another in our lives. Yeah, I agree with you.
Right.
You know, and for those that are still under lockdown and everything else, you know, I just want to say this is you know, we're not trying to say, you know, Florida's right or wrong because they're not in lockdown. We're not saying that at all. But what we are saying is, you know, it's our opportunity, our way to make our living, and we're not going to stand by and not do that.
Right.
And the social norm in our area, you know, I hate to say it, in this rural Florida area, COVID was never really that big of a threat.
Right.
You know, and we generally had something set up, but it was ultimately left to the customer and the students to what they prefer to do. So we told them, hey, you can wear a mask in the class, but it's up to you.
Yeah.
And most people chose not to. And what I'm trying to get to is it's the circumstance of our location that gave us the opportunity, not because we went out and broke laws or anything else.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
So that being said.
Well, more than anything, a lot of things come down to personal responsibility, and that's one of the things we try to teach is like, you have to be responsible for yourself. You have to know your own safety precautions. You have to know how to take care of yourself and also other people. So, we can't mandate stuff.
Yeah.
But luckily we do live in an area where, like Jeremiah said, there's only been actually a few hundred cases even in our area at all this entire year. Just because we're so spread out, it really doesn't spread around that much. That's not to say that it won't, but hopefully by that point things are kind of fixing
to
itself.
Give you an example, our little town that we stayed in had an outbreak, and that was because we had 10 cases of COVID.
Did it? I don't know. I heard we did have an outbreak, but I didn't know how many cases it was.
That's what you do. That's what I heard.
Okay, I don't know.
That's what I heard.
I don't know how many cases.
That's what I heard. I might be wrong. I might have misheard.
Yeah.
But that's just the to understand what we're dealing with. We're not in a big city.
Yeah.
We're not stacked up on top of each other. We're not
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So our approach is going to be different.
Yeah, but I definitely commend the people who live, in those areas who've been innovative and who've been able to roll with the punches. Because they've really been rocked this year.
Yeah,
and had
I'm not judging
hard
that.
Time.
I'm just saying, hey, look, man, this is what we're doing because it's our situation.
Yeah. So, what would you say moving into 2021 would be some goals for you?
We'll be a licensed massage therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to go out to California and train.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, I missed that this year.
Man, I missed that big time.
Mm-hmm.
And probably, I don't know. I think those two main things: improve my karate, and get more insight, get my license, establish myself as a massage therapist.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's weird because I look at my life ahead and I don't plan on it's career goals. I really don't have career goals. I just put my head down and go. That's how I did my landscape business. That's how I did my first dojo. I just did and went. So when I look at massage therapy, it's the same. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get my name out. I'll get these people, and I know it's gonna take time, but I'll get there.
Right.
So I don't consider that like a goal. It's just doing it.
Yeah.
So my goals are a little bit more personal, I guess. Karate and definitely karate, traveling.
Yeah.
Big time.
Being able to travel again.
Yeah. Well, I just want to, time is limited when you have teachers that really have a lot of time.
Yeah.
In karate.
Yeah.
Your time is limited with them.
Right.
And there's nothing like one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
He could sit there and see it better, like 3D, and give you the answer you need.
Yeah.
Maybe not what you want to hear,
right?
But it's what you need, and I miss that because those are the things that I think about when I train on my own.
Yeah.
It's like, what did he tell me when I did this? What's the correction that I heard the most?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my big goals. How about you? Excuse me.
Kind of finish off continuing to put those systems in place. I mean, I feel like I've done a pretty good job implementing certain things as far as like goal setting and making plans and keeping on top of things. So I'm actually, the past month or two, I've been doing a lot more streamlining of the services that I offer. Like, I used to do online training for anyone, and now I'm going to do it exclusively for karateka because I feel like that's the population that I understand the best. So kind of streamlining things there as far as fitness training goes. And then also accepting, like, there's a certain clientele that I work with in person and being able to, kind of separate those two things. So there's one group I work with online and there's one group I work with in person. So doing things like that and continuing, like, I do a lot of continuing education stuff. So I'm actually reading a really cool book right now on some programming things. So I want to try to implement some of that. And I guess outside of that, it's also like making sure that, we've kind of built a good relationship on the dojo floor as far as like not stepping on each other's toes. That was a big concern we actually had going into this year, was that because we're both very alpha, we were both senseis of our own dojos, now we're both in the same dojo, how are we going to be able to manage that? I don't know, how do you think we did? I didn't think it was that bad. What?
I'm sorry, were we talking about something serious?
It wasn't that bad, okay? I'm telling you. I'm not asking your opinion. I'm just telling you. It wasn't that bad, right? Right? So, I don't know.
No. It wasn't really bad. There was a learning curve there. And
yeah.
I think what the key was that we both had to sit back and go, you know what? The other person knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
We got to trust them. That comes down to just trusting that they have the right intention.
Right.
So I know there was a couple times where it was an issue, but it was solved rather quickly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think also we've learned like each other's strengths and weaknesses. So I've been able to like, I know that you do a better job dealing with most parents than I do. Simply just like establishing boundaries and like talking about how we handle certain kids and discipline and all that kind of stuff. And we've had parents ask Jeremiah if he does house calls. Bobby, I'm sure you're watching this. So we do not do house calls to discipline your children. But basically learning each other's strengths and weaknesses, that's been really huge. So we've learned that kind of dance on the dojo floor. And as far as the dojo goes, now we have to learn it as far as fitness and massage therapy goes, because we're going to be sharing a space. So making sure that we working around each other as far as that goes. And
valuing each other's time.
Yeah, and kind of blending that part of the business together as well. Yeah. I value your time. $5 per hour. I guess that's kind of it. I really haven't sat down and thought about a lot of 2021 goals, to be honest. I feel like everybody started off 2020 with a bunch of goals, and it all went to crap. So I'm not really so sure what to plan on in 2021. Not to say that nothing will happen, but, Anyhow, I actually feel like we really accomplished a lot this year, despite everything. So, kind of resting on my laurels for a sec here.
Yeah, I would say that for
the next couple days.
We've been surrounded by some really awesome events and things. I give it to our community, man.
Yeah. I
really do. When we shut down, dude, there was a majority of our community that was like kept on paying us.
Right.
They kept on doing it, and they were loyal to us, and they supported us, and you can't ask for anything better than that. When you put your heart into something and people recognize it, man. Yeah, that's
such a blessing.
It is a blessing, and that's to me another major thing that God was amongst us. That we were able to just not know what to do. We were winging it just like everybody else,
right?
But we have good people around us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thankful for all of them.
Oh yeah.
Every last one of y'all.
Even the ones I want to strangle.
Yes, absolutely.
Thankful
even
for
those.
You too, buddy.
Buddy, is that who you want to strangle? That is who you. Watch out, buddy. She's coming for you.
We don't have anybody named Buddy.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Buddy.
So, what are you working on?
I'm working on side snap kick, like I've done for the last freaking year and a half.
Yeah.
And then working on Wankan, not performance wise, but like just application.
Okay.
So I like that kata. I know it's really short, and I just like certain moves in it. I love the cat stance shift thing. I love that move. That is the most.
This one.
Yeah.
Into the
cuffing,
scooping
block kind of thing where you shift
dope.
into that cat stance.
Yeah.
And then when you do both ways, I mean, great hip action and then a good sharp snap into that back stance. Oh, so freaking awesome.
It's pretty cool.
It is cool. And you can feel the snap, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I've been working on application for that kata. Yeah. Yeah. Grateful for an amazing teacher to kind of let you know, hey, you get hit in the head with that. That's not going to work.
That was awful. Do it again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He made a couple points, and the craziest thing is he's absolutely right. You can't deny it. So.
Yeah.
What you working on?
So for one thing, I definitely over-torqued my hip sometime this year. So I talked with our injury dude that we've used over the years. And so I'm working on just making sure that hip is okay, kind of getting away from those pain signals. I can see now why a lot of karateka end up with hip replacements, because all you gotta do is over torque those hips too much outside of your genetically predisposed range of motion, and you can really jack up the cartilage in your hips. So I'm glad that I figured that out now. Just trying to be careful. So I'm working on fixing that, and then working on. Sorry, I keep yawning. Sorry guys, it's kind of late. I'm very tired. I'm an old lady. So working on Konkusho. One of the things I worked on today was the spin and then jump off the floor at the end, rather than making this big athletic jump. Actually doing them as is stated in Best Karate, where it says basically that you're just supposed to turn and basically fall. Not really fall, but like it's literally a spin and drop into that movement down, like the Konkudai looking move with your hands on the floor.
Right.
And then you're only supposed to raise your hips up to the height that you can get your... Can't stop yawning. Anyway, so it's just... I can't stop yawning. So then you push up off the floor just high enough so that your hips are high enough so that your feet can get underneath you into the Kokusadachi, and then that lower open-handed down block thing. Yeah. So I always did it as 2 big jumps, because I thought that's how it was supposed to be done. Never occurred to me that it's not supposed to be 2 giant jumps unless you're trying to do it in some big showy tournament. In real life, it's actually just supposed to be a drop and then stand up quick and move your feet. And that is so much easier because white girl can't jump. So yeah, I like that a whole lot more. It felt really good.
Okay.
And I don't feel like I'm putting my hip in a compromised position by like jumping and then trying to... stick the landing or whatever. I'm able to just kind of get in position and be done with it. So that was really cool. So working on stuff like that in Konkusho.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're working on flexibility too, but whatever.
Gotcha.
Stretching.
Flexing your abilities.
Flexing the ability.
Alrighty. Well, hopefully this will not be the last you see of us for 2 months. We're going to try to get back on it. So thanks for listening. Anything else to add?
No, because is a sound, not a word.
Right. Go train.
Yeah, listen. What I guess I want to say is this: is hopefully we see a bunch of y'all this year. Hopefully we see y'all in some seminars, because man, I need to get out and do some seminars.
You need somebody to smack on you a couple times.
It is motivation.
Right.
When you go to seminars, it's motivation. I really get amped up.
Yeah.
And I really get psyched out because it's motivation.
Mm-hmm.
When you train by yourself a lot, like 90% of the time, dude, it's hard.
Dude, I know.
It's hard,
Believe
bro.
me, I dislike it so much that I literally never train on my own.
I have to train on my own.
Yeah, I can't.
I have to.
Do it.
I gotta, because
I train on my own before class.
See,
with people.
I usually train on my own on the weekends and stuff and do my own little thing because I need that space. I need that time just to make mistakes.
Yeah.
To work on things, to see for my own self what I'm doing.
Right.
And then to, suck it up and do it the way Steve said to do it.
Right on. Right on.
Or Lauren said to do it.
Yeah, the way I said to do it. Alrighty, guys. See y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.